Hello everybody. In this video I am going to attempt to demonstrate how to make a repair to the exhaust on my 2001 Isuzu Rodeo. As you can see, I've got an issue with my tailpipe here. I was out running some errands earlier today, and as I was walking back to the vehicle in the parking lot, I noticed the exhaust pipe, the tailpipe, hanging down. So I crawled under and looked, and as you can see, it's completely disconnected from the outlet on the muffler, and it's obviously just rusted through and snapped off. And I think part of the problem is, let's see if I can show you this. There's an exhaust hanger right there that is obviously no longer connected to the tailpipe itself. So all that weight of the tailpipe was hinging on the outlet there, and it eventually just snapped off. So I'm going to attempt to repair this with with a fitting and a couple clamps and some exhaust paste that I picked up at the local parts store. By no means am I suggesting that this is the best way to repair your exhaust. Obviously it'd be more permanent and better to clean this up and weld a clean section of the exhaust pipe back to the muffler. But honestly, I'm not much of a welder. I don't feel like having to pull this all out from under the vehicle to do that. I mean, I guess you could try to weld it in place, but it would be tricky to get a good bead all the way around on the top. And honestly, I can't justify spending the money on this vehicle to have a shop do it at this point. So I'm gonna try to make a quick repair of this myself. So again, this is not the best way, but if you find yourself in a similar situation and you need to make a quick exhaust repair, hopefully you'll find something helpful in this video. So anyway, let's dive right in. Here's the fitting that I purchased. You can see it's flared, or it reduces down. So it's a 2.5 inch ID by 2 inch OD. So on the wide end of it, it will fit over the outlet on the muffler like that. And then my plan is to clean up the cut on the end of the exhaust pipe, or the tailpipe, and it should fit inside here. Now honestly, I'd prefer that it fit over that outlet so that my clamp would actually secure around the pipe and clamp it to the fitting, but I couldn't find a fitting at my parts store that had I guess it'd need to be a 1 7/8 OD to go inside the 2 inch tailpipe. I just couldn't find a 2.5 by 1 7/8. So my clamp's gonna have to go around the outside of the fitting, and I'm hoping that between that and the exhaust paste, it'll hold it together. And I'm also gonna add another hanger around the tailpipe down here, so it'll hold it up and not put strain on my repair. So without further ado, I think I'm going to work on getting the tailpipe out from under the vehicle so I can make a good cut on the end, and then we'll try to clamp everything up. So really it's just being held in place by one hanger at this point. You can see it offsets up above the rear axle, and if you follow it back, there's a hanger right here. And of course, it's just got the bracket's got 2 prongs up top, and I'm just going to slide the rubber fitting off those 2 prongs, and then I can hopefully twist this and get it out from under the truck and clean up that cut on the end. Maybe put a wire brush on my grinder to knock off some of the rust, and then we'll get it back in place. So let me get this hanger off and we'll work on getting this out. Okay, so you can see I've got the hanger removed and the tailpipe's completely free now. So I just need to see if I can twist it enough to pull it out from over the rear axle, and then we will get it out from under here so we can work on the end and clean that cut up. So let me snake this out of here real quick. Well, as with most things in life, it looks like this isn't going to be as easy as I hoped.
I can't seem to get this tailpipe out of here with the spare tire in place. It just doesn't give me enough clearance, so I'm gonna have to lower this down. Hopefully I don't really need to take it out from under the vehicle. I think if I just drop it down, it'll give me the room I need between the frame and the tire. Okay, I just ended up taking the tire out completely to give me better clearance under here, to get my creeper all the way under there, make it easier on me. So tire's out of the way, got the tailpipe removed, and you can see the end we're working on here. So I need to cut this back. I don't want to cut too much and get into the bend, because then it's going to be hard to get it to fit into that coupling that I've got. So I'm going to cut off maybe a 1/4 inch and straighten it up, and try to get some of the rust off here and see if we can fit it back together. So I'm going to move to where I can work on this and make a cut. Be right back. Alright, I got the tailpipe clamped to my workbench now, and I'm ready to make my cut. So we'll get this cleaned up and cut off and ready to go back in the vehicle. So let's see, hopefully it doesn't fall apart. It's rusted, but it's not too bad, so hopefully I'll have enough good material left to make this work. So let me get it cut off and we'll start putting things back together. Okay, you can see I've gotten the pipe cut off, and I put a wire brush attachment on my grinder and cleaned off all the rust. The top side of the pipe's actually in decent shape, but the bottom side, where condensation collects, is not in such great shape. In fact, you can see right there, it had actually rusted all the way through. And it's pretty pitted, but there's a decent amount of material left, so it's got some life left in it. So now I'm getting ready to fit up my adapter here, and go ahead and clamp that together, and then I'm going to put the whole thing under the vehicle and then slip this over the muffler outlet, and clamp that on, and then put the hanger on, and I'll add one hanger near here where the old hanger used to be to support this. But for my joints, I'm going to use this sealer that I picked up. If you read the instructions, basically it says to clean everything up, which I've already done, and then wet the surfaces, and then apply the sealer, slip everything together, and I'll clamp it up. And it says allow it to dry for 30 minutes and then run the engine for 10 minutes to get everything nice and hot. I guess that cures the sealer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and fit up this joint. Like I said, I'll put the sealer on, put a clamp on it, and then I'll crawl under the vehicle and get this in a position. So bear with me 1 second. Alright, so you can see I got the outside of the tailpipe coated and the inside of my fitting. So I'm going to put those together and attach the clamp, and then I'll crawl under the vehicle. Just wanted to give you a quick shot of everything before I put it together. Okay, obviously I've gotten the exhaust pipe back under the vehicle, and I'm getting ready to fit it up to the muffler. So I just need to apply the sealer compound on both the inside of the fitting and the outlet of the muffler itself, and then I'll fit it together and attach the clamp, and then I'll work on hanging everything back up and adding a second hanger so this doesn't separate. So let me get the compound applied and we'll fit this together. Alright, you can see I've applied the sealant compound. You can't see the inside, but I did put it on the inside of the fitting. Obviously I got a little sloppy. The stuff's messy, so I definitely recommend using gloves to apply it. But anyway, I'm ready to fit everything together, so I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but let's see if we can put this together. Probably gonna need two hands. Let me see if I can prop up the camera. I think you can see that. So we're going to fit it together. There we go.
trying to get the, bear with me a second, I'm trying to get the rear hanger hooked. My creeper's moving on me while I'm pushing, so I'm struggling a little bit. I got it up there temporarily. Bear with me one moment. Alright, sorry. So, now I need to clean up the excess. I'll probably wipe a little bit more compound right on the outside of the joint. Make sure there's a good seal there. And I'll clamp it up and let it sit for 30 minutes like the instructions said. And then I'll run the engine for 10 minutes to get it hot and let it bake it, I guess. And then we should be done. Now back here, you can see this is what I was struggling with. I gotta get, this actually is not really correct. I think I've got this on the wrong hole. Now what's going on here is my fitting pushed everything forward an inch or two, or sorry, pushed everything towards the rear of the vehicle an inch or two. So I was struggling to get the rubber hanger over the end of the pipe because everything's further this way now. But it just does stretch, so I think I can make it work. So I'm going to finish connecting this and then figure out how to add that second hanger. And then we'll let everything cure for 30 minutes. Okay, you can see I've got everything bolted up now. I ended up turning my clamps to the side just so I didn't have anything hanging below the muffler that might snag debris. I don't do a lot of off-roading in this vehicle, but regardless, I didn't want stuff hanging down low. I've got the clamps all snugged up tight. I didn't over tighten them too much. I got them hand tight and did another half turn or so. I don't want to crush the pipe. And then you can see I've added a hanger. I didn't really have a good spot, but there was this existing bracket up there that I was able to just get a little angle bracket that I had laying around, slid behind it, and I tapped it in place with a hammer. It's in there pretty snug, so I don't think it's going to come out. And then I just connected that with a small bolt and a nut to the hanger bracket. And of course it's got like a rubber isolator there. So everything's supported well. Hopefully that'll keep this repair from failing prematurely. Again, this is not a permanent fix. I don't want to give the impression that this is the best way to repair it, but it's the best I could do on, not much time today and on a low budget. So basically at this point I'm ready to run the vehicle for 10 minutes to heat this up and fully cure it, and then this repair is wrapped up. So you may not have the exact same issue, but the principle would be the same no matter where your exhaust might have a break in the pipe or have fallen apart. You can follow these same steps to make a quick repair. The fitting may be different that you need, and you might not need a transition like I've got. You might just need same diameter on both ends and just cut out the bad section of pipe and fit it together and apply your compound and clamps and you're good to go. So again, this was a quick repair, but I hope you find something useful in this video. But this wraps up the project, and thanks for watching.